Welcome to Shanti Peace for Mathematics. In my previous video, we have learned about trigonometric functions, that is sin z equal to e power iz minus e power minus iz upon 2i, and cos z will be e power iz plus e power minus iz upon 2. Similarly, we have also seen that tan z, which is in the usual manner, we can define as sin z upon cos z, and other trigonometric function cot z will define as cos z upon sin z. Sec z we have defined as 1 upon cos z, and cosec z we have defined as 1 upon sin z. So this trigonometric functions we have defined, and also we have seen the properties of these trigonometric functions. Today we will discuss about the hyperbolic function in a complex domain. So what is the motivation of a hyperbolic function? The hyperbolic function for real variable, that is sine hyperbolic of x, you know it is defined as e power x minus e power minus x by 2, and cos hyperbolic of x will define as e power x plus e power minus x by 2. Now in the same manner we will define for a complex variable. So for complex variable, the sine hyperbolic of z is defined as e power z minus e power minus z by 2, and cos hyperbolic of z will be defined as e power z plus e power minus z by 2, where z is any complex number you can consider. So this way the hyperbolic functions sine and cos are defined. Now let us try to find out what will be the period of this sine hyperbolic of z and cos hyperbolic of z. So for that I am just starting with sine hyperbolic of z plus 2 pi I. So as per the definition we will write this is z plus 2 pi I minus e power minus z plus 2 pi I upon 2. This by definition of this, by properties of exponential function, we can write as e power z into e power 2 pi I minus e power minus z into e power minus 2 pi I divided by 2. So that will gives me e power z, and e power 2 pi I as per the Euler's identity we can write as cos 2 pi I sin 2 pi I, and cos 2 pi is 1 and sin 2 pi will be 0, so this will be 1 you will have. So this e power 2 pi I will be 1 minus e power minus z. What will be the e power minus 2 pi I? So here it is minus sign you will have. So this will become minus, this is minus, so that is minus comes here, no change there, so this will be 1 upon 2. So this is nothing but the sine hyperbolic of z. So therefore what we can say is the period of sine hyperbolic of z is 2 pi I. In the similar manner one can have the period of cos hyperbolic of z plus 2 pi I. If I start with in the same manner, we can prove that it is cos of hyperbolic of z. So therefore the period of cos hyperbolic of z is also 2 pi I. So that are the period of sine hyperbolic of z and cos hyperbolic of z. So the second property that we can consider, if z is equal to iy, 0 plus iy consider, then what will be the sine hyperbolic of z? then sine hyperbolic of z will be sine hyperbolic of iy, and if you use the definition of hyperbolic function, this will be iy minus e raised to minus iy upon 2. And you just recall my previous lecture how we define the sine z function. Sine z is e power iz minus e power minus iz by 2 I. So if I multiply and divide it by I here, this will be e power iy minus e power minus iy upon 2i. So this quantity now you will have sine z. So that is sine y, and I is already there. So therefore what we got is sine hyperbolic of iy will be I sine y. So we'll start with cos hyperbolic of z. Cos hyperbolic of z is cos hyperbolic of 0 plus iy. So that is by definition e power iy plus e power minus iy by 2. And if you recall the definition of cos z is e power iz plus e power minus iz by 2. Now you just observe this is y here instead, and here it is z. So this is nothing but the cos of y. So what we got is finally cos hyperbolic of iy will be cos y. So we'll have two identities here. It says that first one is sine hyperbolic of iy is I sine y, and cos hyperbolic of y is cos y. We'll use this identities later on. So now I'm doing the third property of this hyperbolic function. So for any complex number z1 and z2, prove that sine hyperbolic of z1 plus z2 equal to sine hyperbolic of z1 cos hyperbolic of z2 plus cos hyperbolic of z1 sine hyperbolic of z2, and cos hyperbolic of z1 plus z2 will be cos hyperbolic of z1 cos hyperbolic of z2 plus sine hyperbolic of z1 sine hyperbolic of z. Now in this both identities, you just observe that what will be the difference with the sine and cos. In the formula you will have here minus instead of this plus. So just observe that, and you have a slightly change in the formula here. So please don't confuse or misinterpret this cos hyperbolic functions and sine hyperbolic functions. Let us try to prove these two identities. To prove these identities, I am starting with the right hand side. So that is right hand side of the first identity, it will be sine hyperbolic of z cos hyperbolic of z2 plus cos hyperbolic of z1 into sine hyperbolic of z. So that will gives me e power, as per the definition of hyperbolic function, e power z1 minus e power minus z1 upon 2. Second one is e power z2 plus e power minus z2 by 2 plus e power z1 plus e power minus z1 by 2, and sine hyperbolic of z2 will be e power z2 minus e power minus z2 by 2. Now if you multiply this brackets in the numerator and in the denominator, if you take the LCM, this is 4. So what you will have is e power z1 into e power z2. So this e power z1 will multiply with e power z2. Now this e power z1 will multiply to e power z2 here. So that will be plus e power z1 e power minus z2. Now this e power z1 will multiply to e power z2. So that is minus e power minus z1 e power z2, and this e power minus z1 is multiplied to this e power minus z2, so that is again a minus e power minus z1 into e power minus z2, plus again there will be a 4 as a LCM of these two terms, and the first term again you can observe that it is e power z1 e power z2, that's e power z1 we multiply with this e power z1. Now the second one e power z1 will multiply to this quantity, so that is minus e power z1 into e power minus z2. The third, this quantity will multiply to this one, so that is plus e power z1 into e power z2, and in the last, that e power minus z1 will multiply to this last quantity, that is minus e power minus z1 into e power minus z2. Now you just observe that this e power z1 into e power z2, that is with red color, is cancelled with this minus sign, and this term will cancel with this because it is a minus sign, this will of plus sign, and these terms are coming 2 times, so that's why we have 2 times e power z1 plus z2 minus e power minus of z1 plus z2. This term will add with this term, so that is also 2 times, divided by 4 because LCM is 4, so, and 2 will be cancelled out, so you just observe that what will be this quantity, sine hyperbolic of z1 plus z2. And the second identity I can give you as a homework, that is cos of hyperbolic of z1 plus z2 will be cos hyperbolic of z1 cos hyperbolic of z2 plus sine hyperbolic of z1 sine hyperbolic of z2. That you can do it as a homework. As I did above, you just start from this side, substitute the value and simplify, you will get this answer. The next property that we are taking is find the real and imaginary parts of sine hyperbolic of z and cos hyperbolic of z. So as we have discussed here, that is sine hyperbolic of z1 plus z2 is sine hyperbolic of z1 cos hyperbolic of z2 plus cos hyperbolic of z1 sine hyperbolic of z2. So using this identity we can write down sine hyperbolic of z as sine hyperbolic of x plus iy, which can be written as sine hyperbolic of x cos hyperbolic of iy plus cos hyperbolic of x sine hyperbolic of iy. Now what we have discussed above, that is cos hyperbolic of iy will be cos y and sine hyperbolic of iy will be I sine y. So that will gives me sine hyperbolic of x cos y plus I cos hyperbolic of x as it is, and sine hyperbolic of iy as per above, it is I sine y. So that's why we have this. So that is the real part of this, will be the real part, and this will be imaginary part of sine hyperbolic of z, and cos hyperbolic of z in the similar manner we can write as x plus iy. So using the identity as we have discussed above, that is cos hyperbolic x cos hyperbolic iy plus sine hyperbolic x sine hyperbolic of iy, using the same identity as we have discussed, cos hyperbolic of x into this will be cos of y plus sine hyperbolic of x as it is, and sine hyperbolic of iy is I sine y. So here this will be the real part and this will be the imaginary part of cos hyperbolic function. The fifth property that we have is find the modulus of sine hyperbolic of z and cos hyperbolic of z. So as we have discussed in the trigonometric function, if you recall, we have started with the mode of sine hyperbolic of z square. So you know that the mode of z square will be x square plus y square, where x square is a real part, y square is imaginary part. So here what is the real part of sine hyperbolic of z? Let us see here. The real part will be this. So that is sine hyperbolic square x cos square y plus imaginary part will be cos hyperbolic of x sine y. So that is cos square hyperbolic of x sine square y. Now you just change with everything in the sign, so that's why we can convert this cos square as 1 minus sine square y, and this cos hyperbolic of x, as x is a real number, we can write as 1 plus sine hyperbolic of x sine square y. So if you simplify this, this will be sine square hyperbolic of x minus sine square x sine square y plus sine square y plus sine square y sine hyperbolic square x. You just observe that this term will cancel with this term. So what is the left quantity, which will be the modulus? So finally, what will be the modulus of sine hyperbolic of z, which will be under root of this quantity, sine hyperbolic of square x plus sine square y. Similar manner, I am giving you as a homework, you can calculate what will be the modulus of cos hyperbolic of z. You can prove this is as sine hyperbolic square x plus cos square y. The next property that we have is find the zeros of sine hyperbolic of z and cos hyperbolic of z. We already defined what we mean by zeros of a function. Zeros of a function means a value at which function takes the zero value. So for that, you just start with the sine hyperbolic of z equal to 0, which implies mode of sine hyperbolic of z square will be 0. Now mode of hyperbolic of z square we just define, or we have found, that is sine square hyperbolic x and plus sine square y. So that will gives me sine hyperbolic square x plus sine square y equal to 0. So that will gives me sine hyperbolic x is 0 and sine y is 0. Due to this is positive, this will also positive. The sum of two positive number is 0. So that means both number has to be 0. So that will implies, this will imply sine y is 0 will implies y will be n pi because n belongs to z, and this will implies e power x minus e power minus x by 2 equal to 0. So that will implies e power x is equal to e power minus x. That will implies e power 2x is 1. So that will implies 2x will be ln of 1, which is 0. So that is x is 0. So that means the zeros of sine hyperbolic of z are 0 plus I n pi, where n belongs to z. Similar manner, if you want to calculate the zeros of cos z, So cos hyperbolic of z is 0, which implies mode of cos hyperbolic of z is square is 0. So therefore this will implies, as we have already discussed what is the cos hyperbolic z square, modulus of that will have sine hyperbolic square x plus cos square y equal to 0. So that will gives me sine hyperbolic x is 0 and cos y is 0. Cos y will gives you y equal to pi by 2 plus 2n pi, because at pi by 2 it will be 0 and every 2 pi interval it will be repeat, so that's why it is plus 2n pi. And in the similar manner as we have discussed above, sine hyperbolic of x is 0 will implies x will be 0. So here the zeros of cos hyperbolic of z are pi by 2 plus 2n pi I. N belongs to z. In the similar manner as we have discussed in the trigonometric functions, the hyperbolic tangent function and hyperbolic cotec function, hyperbolic sec function, hyperbolic cosec functions are defined as in the same manner. That is, tan hyperbolic of z will be defined as sine hyperbolic of z upon cos hyperbolic of z. Cot hyperbolic of z will define as cos hyperbolic of z upon sine hyperbolic of z. Sec hyperbolic of z will define as 1 upon cos hyperbolic of z, and cosec of z will define as 1 upon sine hyperbolic of z. You may calculate what are the real and imaginary part of this function, what is the modulus of this functions, what are the zeros of this function, you can calculate. I am giving you as an exercise to you. The next one, that is an example I am taking. Find the all roots of the equation cos hyperbolic of z is equal to 1 by 2. So here what we have given is this. You just start with the putting the values of cos hyperbolic of z, that is as per the formula it is e power z plus e power minus z by 2 equal to 1 by 2. This 2 will cancel out. So you will have e power z plus e power minus z will be 1. So if you take this e power minus z 1 upon e power z, so that will be e power 2z plus 1 equal to e power z. And if you take this quantity on the other side, that will be e power 2z minus e power z plus 1 equal to 0. And you can observe that this is a quadratic equation in terms of e power z. So it will be of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where your x is e power z. Then as per the roots of this quadratic equation, it is minus b. Minus b will be minus 1. So it is 1 plus or minus square root of b square will be 1 minus 4 upon 2a. A is 1, c is also 1. So that is gives me 1 plus or minus I root 3, because it is minus 3 minus 1 will be I. So it is this. And you can just write down what is e power z. If z is I am considering as x plus iy, then this is e power x cos y plus I sin y equal to 1 by 2 plus or minus I root 3 by 2. Now you just observe it will have two value. The first one is e power x cos y will be 1 by 2, e power x sin y will be root 3 by 2. By comparing real and imaginary part, and there are two values plus and minus, so we'll have two parts here. Will be 1 by 2 e power x sin y will be minus root 3 by 2. Now you just observe that if you square these two terms and add them, so you'll have e power 2x cos square plus sin square, it will be 1 equal to 1 by 4 plus 3 by 4, that will be 1. So e power 2x is 1, which gives you 2x will be ln of 1, which is 0. So therefore x will be 0. Since x will be 0, cos y is 1 by 2 and sin y will be root 3 by 2. So therefore what we'll have is y will be pi by 3 plus 2n pi. N belongs to z. So in the similar manner, if you just calculate this quantity, again you will do the square of this quantity and square of this quantity and add them. Again you will have e power 2x into 1 cos square plus sin square 1 by 4 plus minus root 3 by 4, which is also plus, so that will gives me 1, so that will gives me x will be 0. So you will have cos y will be 1 by 2 and sin y will be minus root 3 by 2. Now here cos is positive, sin is negative. That means your x is positive and y is negative, that is in fourth quadrant. Your point is in fourth quadrant. So your point, or what is your angle, will be minus pi by 3 plus 2n pi. N belongs to z. So finally what will be the solution of the given equation, that is cos hyperbolic of z equal to 1 by 2 will be z equal to x plus iy, that is 0 plus I. Y have two value, that is this one and this one, so it is plus or minus pi by 3 plus 2n pi. N belongs to z. So these are the roots of this equation that we have. Let us recall what we did. We have discussed about the hyperbolic functions. We have defined the sine hyperbolic function, cos hyperbolic functions. We have defined its property of that. We have found its real part and imaginary part. What will be the modulus of that? What are the zeros of that? And we have solved some transcendental equation which involves the hyperbolic functions. I am give an exercise, one exercise here. Find the roots of sine hyperbolic of z equal to I. Also secondly, you prove that sine hyperbolic of z and cos hyperbolic of z are unbounded function. So with this two exercise I am stopping here. Thank you very much for listening me. If you like this video, please press the like button. If you have any questions, suggestions or comments, you may drop down in comment box. I like to give the answer to them. Thank you. Bye bye. Sayonara.